What if the most radioactive place on Earth turned into a thriving home for mutant plants and animals? Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what's happening in Chernobyl. From plants that can survive deadly radiation to wolves living their best lives in the wild, the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone has become a real-life experiment in survival. But that's not all. We're also diving into other jaw-dropping stories, like bacteria that eat plastic, a weird alien-looking creature called the Antarctic feather star, and even animals that glow in the dark under the ocean. Nature's breaking all the rules, and you're about to see it in action. 1. Chernobyl's alien plants. Chernobyl is a name that instantly reminds us of disaster. The 1986 nuclear meltdown turned a thriving region into a wasteland. Thousands of people got sick, entire cities were abandoned, and an exclusion zone the size of Luxembourg, about 2,600 square kilometers, was declared off-limits. It seemed like nothing could survive there. But against all odds, life found a way. Wolves, boars, and even bears now roam the overgrown forests of Chernobyl. But the real stars of this story are the plants. Even with radiation soaking the soil and air, plants began to reclaim the land. Within just 3 years, greenery started creeping back in. The red forest, once a dead zone where radiation turned trees a toxic red-orange, is now alive with trees like silver birch. These hardy trees replaced the pines that couldn't handle the fallout. How did this happen? It comes down to one simple fact. Plants and animals don't deal with radiation similarly. Radiation sends high-energy particles crashing through living cells, often shredding DNA. For animals, that kind of damage is usually deadly. It can cause cancers or organ failure because animals' bodies are highly specialized and can't adapt quickly. Plants, on the other hand, have a unique ability. They're flexible. Unlike animals, plants can regenerate almost any part of themselves. A plant cell can turn into a root, a stem, or even a leaf if needed. This is why you can grow a new plant from just a cutting. In Chernobyl, this adaptability allowed plants to bounce back, even under brutal conditions. Mutated cells in plants also don't spread the same way they do in animals. Plant cells are locked in place by sturdy walls, so damage often stays put, and the rest of the plant works around it. What's even more fascinating is that some plants in the exclusion zone seem to have stepped up their defenses. They've developed ways to protect their DNA from damage. By tweaking their DNA chemistry and activating built-in repair systems, they're tapping into ancient survival tools. Billions of years ago, when Earth was bathed in far more radiation than today, early plants had to figure out how to endure. Those old survival tricks are now helping their descendants thrive in one of the most radioactive places on Earth. And plants aren't the only survivors. A black fungus called Cyclatosporium sphaerospermum has been found growing right on the reactor walls. This fungus isn't just surviving, it's thriving thanks to something extraordinary. It uses radiation as an energy source, a process called radiosynthesis. It's like photosynthesis in plants, but instead of sunlight, this fungus uses gamma radiation to fuel itself. Here's the wild part. The fungus has melanin, the same pigment that gives some animals and plants their dark color. In this case, melanin converts radiation into chemical energy, helping the fungus not just survive, but grow. This incredible ability has scientists dreaming up big ideas. Could fungi like this one help clean up radioactive waste? Could they shield astronauts from harmful cosmic radiation during space travel? If plants and fungi can survive, and even thrive, under such extreme conditions, what else might they be capable of? Their resilience raises a big question. Could we learn from them to help humans survive in the toughest environments? Plants that can fight radiation are amazing, but there's another group of survivors that's just as fascinating. The predators of Chernobyl, like wolves, have found ways to thrive in this radioactive landscape, and the ways they've adapted will make you wonder just how far nature can push its limits.
Like and subscribe right now, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week.
2. Radiation-resistant wolves. The gray wolves living in Chernobyl's exclusion zone are breaking all the rules of survival. You'd think radiation exposure would have wiped them out, but instead, they're thriving in ways that have left scientists amazed. In this off-limits area, wolves are showing up in numbers 7 times higher than nearby wildlife reserves. Sure, the lack of humans and hunters helps, but that's not the whole story. Scientists, including Kara N. Love from Princeton University, think something deeper is happening. These wolves might be evolving in ways that protect them from cancer and radiation-related diseases. Here's how it works. Radiation messes up DNA, which can cause cancer and other illnesses. But studies on Chernobyl's wolves show they're adapting, especially in the parts of their genes that handle immune responses to tumors. By studying their blood and genetic material, researchers found these wolves have unique ways of dealing with radiation stress. Their immune cells, tiny defenders in the blood, act differently compared to wolves in areas untouched by radiation. That's not all. Scientists are also checking how parasites and diseases affect these wolves compared to others outside the zone. The early results are surprising. The wolves in Chernobyl seem healthier and more resilient overall, even with all the challenges they face. Chernobyl has become an unexpected refuge for wildlife. Animals like the rare Eurasian bison and Przewalski's horses roam here, but the wolves are the stars of the show. They've become symbols of survival, proving that life can adapt to some of the harshest conditions on the planet. And here's where it gets even more exciting. Could these wolves hold the key to fighting cancer or developing future medical breakthroughs? Their DNA might be a treasure trove of secrets that could change how we treat diseases or even handle radiation exposure in humans. But nature's surprises don't stop here. From wolves surviving radiation to the icy depths of the Southern Ocean, life's ability to adapt keeps pushing the boundaries of what we think is possible. What's waiting in Antarctica's freezing waters might change everything you know about survival. 3. Antarctic feather star. If you dive into the icy waters near Antarctica, you'll find a creature that looks like it's from another planet. Meet Promachocrinus gregarius, better known as the Antarctic strawberry feather star. This strange animal has 20 arms and a body that looks like a strawberry. Yes, you read that right. The feather star lives in one of the harshest environments on Earth, and its appearance is as vibrant as it is unusual. Its feathery arms, which can be dark red or purplish, aren't just for decoration, they help the creature move. Watching it glide through the water is almost like watching something out of a sci-fi movie. This incredible species was discovered during a research mission that spanned nearly a decade, from 2008 to 2017. Scientists explored remote Antarctic locations, like the Sipple Coast and Diego Ramirez Islands, hoping to uncover new marine life. They didn't just find P. gregarius. They discovered 7 other feather star species in the same genus, bringing the total number from 1 to 8. But P. gregarius stands out, not just for how it looks, but for where it lives. The Southern Ocean is one of the coldest, most isolated places on Earth, and surviving there is no small feat. The feather star belongs to the Crinoidea class, a group of animals related to starfish and sea cucumbers, and it's evolved some incredible features to make the deep sea its home. Discoveries like this are a reminder that Earth's oceans still hold so many secrets. Could creatures like the Antarctic strawberry feather star teach us more about surviving in extreme conditions? Their existence shows just how adaptable life can be, even in the most unlikely places. The icy depths of Antarctica are home to some of the strangest creatures on Earth, like the Antarctic strawberry feather star. But while that alien-like animal dominates the frigid waters, let's head to warmer lands where something equally massive, yet far less mobile, has been hiding in plain sight for centuries. Imagine a plant so big it can hold the weight of a person. Meet Victoria boliviana, a rediscovered giant with secrets of its own. 4. Victoria boliviana. For almost 200 years, people have been amazed by the massive water lilies of the Victoria genus. But one giant species managed to stay hidden, even though it was right in front of us. Meet Victoria boliviana, a breathtaking plant with leaves so big they can grow up to 10 feet across and support the weight of a full-grown adult, up to 176 pounds. Found in the rivers, ponds, and floodplains of northeastern Bolivia, this aquatic giant went unrecognized as its species for decades. At first, scientists thought it was just a larger version of its close relative, Victoria amazonica. Even specimens in famous places like London's Kew Gardens and Bolivia's National Herbarium didn't raise suspicions. But in 2016, everything changed. Seeds donated to Kew Gardens sprouted, and Carlos Magdalena, a horticulturist and plant researcher, noticed something unusual. When he compared these plants side by side with V. amazonica, subtle differences stood out, like the patterns of the prickles on the leaves and the shapes of the seeds. To be sure, Carlos and a team of researchers did genetic tests. Their findings revealed that V. boliviana had branched off from its relatives millions of years ago. What makes this giant even more remarkable is how it survives. Its enormous leaves spread wide, shading out other plants to grab more sunlight. Its flowers, which start white and turn pink, are covered in sharp prickles, nature's way of saying, "Look, but don't touch." This discovery isn't just about one plant. It highlights how rich and unique Bolivia's ecosystems are, and reminds us why protecting them is so important. But nature's wonders aren't always towering plants or massive creatures. Sometimes, the most groundbreaking adaptations come from organisms so small they're invisible to the naked eye. Let's dive into the world of magnetotactic bacteria, tiny living magnets that could change the future of science and medicine. 5. Magnetotactic bacteria. Let's talk about one of the coolest groups of microbes on the planet, magnetotactic bacteria, or MTB for short. These microscopic organisms are so small, they make a grain of rice look enormous, but don't let their size fool you. They have superpowers. Unlike most bacteria, MTBs are packed with tiny bits of iron oxide called magnetosomes. These act like built-in compasses, letting the bacteria sense and align with Earth's magnetic field. This helps them navigate through swampy, low-oxygen environments with almost perfect accuracy. But MTBs don't just use their magnetic sense for navigation. When their flagella, tiny tail-like structures, aren't enough to get through thick sediments, they rely on Earth's magnetic field to guide them to areas with better food sources. This incredible ability evolved from a single ancient ancestor and is one of the oldest examples of biomineralization, when living organisms make minerals in Earth's history. Scientists are now studying MTBs to unlock their potential in medicine. Imagine filling these bacteria with magnetosomes, then using magnetic fields to heat them and destroy harmful bacteria or even viruses in the human body. It sounds like science fiction, but researchers believe this technique could revolutionize how we fight infections on a global scale. The way MTBs live is just as fascinating. Their magnetotaxis, the ability to move along magnetic fields, is a rare and ancient adaptation. It helps them find the perfect balance of oxygen in their tiny aquatic worlds, giving them an edge for survival. It's easy to overlook something so small, but MTBs show us that size doesn't always matter. These living magnets prove that some of the most groundbreaking adaptations come in the tiniest packages, offering insights that could change how we think about life and the future of science. But while magnetotactic bacteria show us how microorganisms can interact with Earth's magnetic field in surprising ways, what about a creature that combines science with a dash of artistic flair? Off the coast of Japan, something that looks like a skeleton panda is taking the spotlight. 6. Skeleton panda. Ascidian. In the shallow waters near a Japanese island, a tiny marine creature has been causing quite a stir. Meet the skeleton panda ascidian, or Clavellina ossipandi. This little sea squirt, less than an inch long, is a true masterpiece of nature. It has striking white patterns that look like a skeleton, and dark spots that resemble a panda's face, making it one of the most unusual creatures ever seen. The skeleton panda ascidian first caught attention back in 2017 when scuba divers began sharing photos online. These photos caught the eye of researchers at Hokkaido University, led by Naohiro Hasegawa. Curious about the unique markings, they started investigating. Thanks to samples collected by local divers, the team confirmed it was a brand new species. Their discovery was officially published in the journal Species Diversity. Its nickname, skeleton panda, comes from the Japanese term Gaikotsu panda hoya, which means exactly that. But this isn't just a cute marine oddity, it's also a hard-working filter feeder. Like other ascidians, it attaches itself to underwater surfaces like rocks and filters water through its body to gather nutrients. These tiny creatures live at depths of up to 66 feet in nutrient-rich waters, proving that even the smallest marine animals can be incredibly resilient. What's intriguing is how it compares to its relatives. Similar sea squirts like the bluebell sea squirt or Clavelina moluxensis also show vibrant patterns, but none are quite as unique as the skeleton pandas. Scientists are still unsure if these markings are for camouflage, communication, or something entirely different. Even though it's small, this discovery shines a light on how much we still have to learn about life in the ocean. Who knows what other incredible creatures are waiting to be discovered in the depths? But as we marvel at the creativity of nature in the ocean's depths, there's a groundbreaking innovation happening on land. Imagine microbes that can eat plastic, reshaping how we deal with one of the world's biggest pollution problems. 7. Plastic-eating bacteria. Plastic pollution is a global crisis, but a tiny bacterium might hold the key to turning things around. Meet Ideonella sakaiensis 201F6, a groundbreaking microbe discovered in a Japanese recycling facility in 2016. This amazing bacterium has a unique skill. It can eat plastic. Specifically, it breaks down polyethylene terephthalate, or PET, the material used in billions of plastic bottles worldwide. So, how does it do this? The bacterium produces an enzyme called PTAs, which breaks PET into smaller parts. Then, another enzyme called METase comes in to finish the job, breaking those parts down into terephthalic acid and ethylene glycol. These are the same raw materials used to make PET in the first place. In simple terms, this bacterium can turn plastic waste into something reusable, making it a huge step forward for recycling. This discovery has sparked worldwide interest in bioremediation, which is using living organisms to solve environmental problems. While some fungi and microbes were already known to slowly break down plastic, Ideonella sakaiensis has proven to be much faster and more efficient. Scientists are now working to harness its enzymes to recycle plastic on a much bigger scale. One example of its potential is a recycling plant in Longlaville, France, that uses this bacterium's technology. The facility processes 50,000 tons of plastic waste every year, which equals about 2 billion plastic bottles. The recycled material is then used by big brands like L'Oreal and L'Occitane to create new products. Of course, challenges remain. Scaling up this technology to handle the enormous amount of plastic waste worldwide is no small task. But this discovery offers a glimpse of hope. It makes you wonder, what other microbial solutions might nature be hiding? If we can uncover more breakthroughs like this, the way we think about waste and sustainability might never be the same. But the mysteries don't stop at the incredible abilities of plastic-eating bacteria. High up in the misty mountains of West Africa, scientists have discovered a brand new bat species with a dazzling appearance and an unusual home. 8. Orange Mountain Bat. In the foggy Nimba Mountains of West Africa, something unusual caught the eyes of researchers, a bat with bright orange fur and bold black markings. This wasn't just a rare sight. It turned out to be an entirely new species called Myotis nimbaensis, known as the Orange Mountain Bat. Its vibrant colors make it one of the most striking bats ever found. The discovery highlights the incredible biodiversity of the Nimba Mountains, often called a sky island. These towering peaks rise over a mile above sea level, standing out from the flatlands around them and creating a unique environment filled with plants and animals found nowhere else. Researchers from Bat Conservation International and local experts explored this rugged area, focusing on natural caves and abandoned mining tunnels called adits. These tunnels, left behind from mining operations in the 1970s and 1980s, have become safe shelters for bats, including the critically endangered Lamotes roundleaf bat or Hipposideros lamote. In 2018, researchers discovered something that stopped them in their tracks, a bat that didn't match any known species. Its bright orange fur and unusual features made it stand out immediately. Nancy Simmons, a bat expert at the American Museum of Natural History, confirmed it was a species never documented before. Over the next 4 years, the team carefully studied its physical traits and genetic data, confirming it was indeed a new addition to the animal kingdom. This bat isn't just a scientific breakthrough, it's a symbol of hope. At a time when many species are disappearing, this discovery reminds us of how much we still don't know about the natural world. But the wonders don't end there. As we climb down from the heights of West Africa, we're diving deep into the ocean, where a glowing creature has left scientists in awe. Get ready to meet a luminous marvel from the abyss. 9. Glowing deep sea wonder. Far below the ocean's surface, where sunlight can't reach, a glowing wonder has been found. Meet Bathygobius taudactylus, a bioluminescent sea slug that looks like it swam out of a dream. First spotted in 2000 by a remote-controlled underwater vehicle off the coast of Monterey Bay, California, this mysterious creature baffled scientists for over 2 decades. Unlike most sea slugs that crawl along the ocean floor, this one floats freely in the water, glowing as it moves. At about 5.6 inches long, its translucent body reveals colorful organs inside, and its tail is fringed with finger-like projections that give it a unique look. One of its strangest features is its jelly-like hood, which it uses to hunt. This hood works like a living trap, snaring small crustaceans in a way that's more like a jellyfish than a sea slug. Its body is also nearly invisible in the dark waters, making it perfectly camouflaged against predators and prey. The discovery was so unique that scientists had to create a brand new family, Bathydevius, just for this species. Its name, Taudactylus, refers to the finger-like projections on its tail. This unusual sea slug shows how creatures in the deep sea often evolve in ways that seem almost otherworldly, adapting to survive in some of the planet's harshest environments. This glowing creature not only adds to our understanding of marine life, but also serves as a reminder of how much of the ocean remains unexplored. But just when you think the deep sea has shown its most mysterious marvel, nature takes us from the ocean depths to the forest floor. Here, a tiny plant surprises scientists with its delicate look and unusual scent. 10. Trillium delicatum. In the quiet forests of Georgia, a small plant is making a big impression. Say hello to Trillium delicatum, a newly discovered herb that's as fascinating as it is rare. At first glance, it looks like a delicate woodland flower, but it's hiding some unusual secrets, starting with its smell. This plant has beautiful maroon petals resting on short 2 to 3 inch stems and sits low to the ground with broad green leaves marked with mottled patterns. While its looks are enchanting, the scent of its flowers is less charming. The smell resembles animal dung, but this isn't a bad design choice by nature. That odor attracts flies and other insects that are perfect for pollination, helping the plant reproduce in its small, quiet corner of the forest. Finding this rare plant wasn't easy. Botanist Aaron Floden and his team discovered it in just 4 tiny locations, and they needed genetic testing to confirm it was a new species. At first glance, it looks very similar to other trilliums, so careful analysis was key to solving the mystery. Sadly, T. delicatum faces real threats. In one area, wild hogs have almost wiped out an entire population. However, conservation efforts led by the Georgia Department of Natural Resources are already helping to protect the remaining plants. This discovery is more than just an exciting find. It's a reminder that even familiar places like Georgia's forests can still hold incredible surprises. It also highlights the need to protect these hidden treasures before they disappear forever. But the forest isn't the only place hiding surprises. From the delicate trillium, we travel to the waters of Western Australia, where a crafty little crab wears a living sponge as a hat, redefining the art of camouflage. 11. Fluffy sponge crab. In the shallow waters off the coast of Western Australia, there's a crab that's part survivalist, part stylist. Known as the fluffy sponge crab, or Lamarckdromia beagle, this clever creature has an unusual way of protecting itself. It wears a hat made of living sponge. The crab has a dense layer of hair-like bristles covering its shell, which it hides under a sponge that it shapes to fit perfectly. Using its specially adapted back legs, the crab holds the sponge in place like a shield. This hat does more than just look cool. It's a double-layered defense system. The sponge acts as camouflage, helping the crab blend into its surroundings to avoid predators like octopuses. And if a predator gets too close, Many sponges produce chemicals that are toxic or taste bad, giving the crab an extra layer of protection. This quirky crab has a history as fascinating as its looks. It was first described in 1836 during the HMS Beagle's famous voyage, the same trip that helped inspire Darwin's theory of evolution. The crab's scientific name, Lamarckdromia beagle, honors both Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, a pioneer of evolutionary theory, and the ship itself. What's even more amazing is that the sponge isn't permanently attached to the crab. It keeps growing and even changes shape to match the crab's movements. Sometimes, the sponge grows larger than the crab itself, giving it even better protection. The fluffy sponge crab is part of a family known as sponge crabs, all of which use natural materials like sponges or seaweed to stay safe. But this particular crab stands out with its fluffy, clever disguise, proving once again that evolution is full of surprises. Chernobyl's alien plants and mutant wolves are just the beginning of nature's incredible resilience. From deep-sea creatures glowing in the dark to bacteria eating plastic, the world is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Which discovery blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're hungry for more mind-bending stories like this, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next, because the wonders of our world are just getting started. See you in the next video.